Broadcasting live deep in an underground bunker way below Night City. This is Cobra TV. What's up, guys? Let me get this echo off the screen or off the microphone. What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for coming back to Cobra TV. And tonight, as you can see, we're going to be talking about Cyberpunk 2077, and this is indeed a subcast. We normally have subcasts for No Man's Sky and various other topics, but we're going to have a subcast tonight surrounding Cyberpunk. So it's fitting. Why not? And let's go ahead and get some music on here because I don't know. I stutter a lot, so maybe the music can help me not with my stuttering. What's up, guys? So glad you guys can come by tonight. We're going to be talking about netrunners on the show. For those that do not like to sit during long podcasts, I'm going to cut the talk around netrunners out in a clip and upload it all by itself. So that way you don't have to sit through a long podcast. But just like any other subcast, I am looking forward to having people call into the show to talk about Cyberpunk 2077. Tell me what you're excited about. I tell you what, guys, and if the music's too loud, please let me know. But I tell you what, it might be. Let me turn it down just a smidget. Let me turn it down. That should be good. That should be good. Nice little volume right there. I tell you what, researching Cyberpunk 2077 is difficult because this is something that it's not new. This has been around for a very, very long time, and there is lore that would make your head spin, and it is absolutely amazing. That can also be very dangerous for a game coming out because of all the lore and all the things that are going to be, all the things that could possibly be in Cyberpunk 2077 based on the lore, based on the past, based on the pen and paper game, the role-playing game. Your head can spin about the possibilities of what 2077 is going to be like when we play it. So this is definitely a game that we all have to keep a level head, to when we're thinking and I don't know, just imagining what the game is going to be like when it comes out. So keep that in mind. There is a lot of lore. There's a lot of things out there that we hope and want in this game. But what's important about the past is we could take a look at the past and realize what the past was like and how it shaped the way the year 2077 is going to be when we finally play the game. So tonight we're going to be talking about netrunners and go over some fan art for Cyberpunk and also a couple other topics. But most importantly, I hope you guys join the show tonight. And just as always, if you want to get on the show, please wait in the Atlas room and our Discord. So you join the Discord. The link should be down below. And you get inside the Discord, and then you go over to the left, and there's a room. It's a voice chat room called Atlas 102.5 FM. Wait in there, and then when we're ready for callers, I'll just pull you and just rapture you, put you right into the subcast, and you'll be on the show. Guys, what's going on? Let me take a look at the chat before we get started here. We got Enrico Bendito is in the chat. We got Cuzwalt, Dave Langer. If you guys are excited about Cyberpunk, a lot of you have played the pen and paper game, and I'm not going to pretend that I played it. I'm not going to pretend that I was a fan back then. I wasn't. So, upfront and honest, I'm learning so much stuff that is... I feel like every time I sit at the computer, and I feel like I'm a kid at Disneyland, because there's all this cool stuff that I'm reading and I'm learning, and... We're going to be talking about Netrunner today because of all the classes that I was reading. Netrunner is the coolest to me. It's the absolute coolest. So we're definitely going to be talking about that. J-Spot Jay's in the chat. We got Infinite Lightning. Matt Barrett's in the chat. We're also going to be taking a look at some pictures. There is this cool thing that we're going to take a look at that right now very first. So we're going to go over to the Twitter page. Let's see. We're going to take a look at some pictures. I've asked people to find odd pictures on the internet of people doing weird things. And this is something that I think Cyberpunk also tweeted out, but I'm wanting the Cobros to take pictures of, or not take pictures. Don't go out with your camera and take pictures of weird people. Please don't do that. That's not what I mean, find them on the internet. Okay, so your homework assignment for Project Mayhem, Cobra TV, is to go out and on the internet and find weird pictures of people doing weird stuff with weird contraptions on their head or their face or their arms, doing just weird stuff, and then grab the Cyberpunk logo. Just go to Google and type in Cyberpunk 2077 logo PNG, and then it'll give you this transparent logo that all you have to do is just, I don't know, any program that you have, and just place it right on top of the picture and then tweet it at me. And we've got a couple of those. I'm going to go ahead and get them up on screen now. Let me get rid of this logo. And let's see, window capture. That's what we need to do. Window capture. And there we go. And we'll go ahead and let's get our logo off the screen. Boom. Okay, so I've asked people to do the same thing and to go around on the Google, find these cool pictures, and add the logo to it. So let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, we got a donation from Cuz Walt saying, time for my Cyberpunk fix. Thank you so much for that donation, Cuz. Thank you so much, buddy. And you know what? It's your fix. It's my fix too. You don't understand how many fixes that I've been getting researching this and trying to understand the lore a lot more than what I did, and it's just got my head spun. It's amazing. But here's one here from Andrew Jackson, who found this awesome picture here and added the Cyberpunk logo to it. Can you guys see that on the screen? Yeah, I believe so. And then there's some more. Let's go ahead and we got to go way, way down. A lot of people have been tweeting some amazing things. And also, Andrew Jackson showed me the William Gibson audio book that I got to start listening to. Let's see. We got this one here from Matt Barrett, Cyberpunk 2077 picture of this kid. Let's see. We got this one here from Enrico Bandito. Then we got a few more down here that are really cool. And if you're following me on Twitter, there is a tweeted at me by Peaceful Gamer of the link to the transparent Cyberpunk logo. So you can find that definitely in my mentions. Then let's see. We got this one here. Oh my goodness. Guys, if you're tuning in and you don't know Cobra TV and you're like, what in the world am I listening to? You said you're going to be talking about netrunners and you're showing me half-naked men holding toy Uzis with, yeah, what are you, dude? Like, okay, I will clip, if you're listening to this and you don't want to listen or watch any of this, this is a fan channel of definitely a lot of games, but most, recently, Cyberpunk 2077. If you want, you can exit this video and I will clip the Netrunner talk and upload that separately. But hopefully we can get some callers on and talk to some amazing people. Here's a lady with a toaster on her head, Cyberpunk 2077. But I would like to see you guys tweet these at me, and we'll show them off in the show. These are sideways. I don't know how to flip them on Twitter. I mean, I could easily flip it if I download it and save it real quick, but we're not going to go ahead and do that right now. There's another one there. Ooh, that's a pretty cool looking spaceship. And we got some here. That's definitely Cyberpunk. That's such a weird picture, isn't it? Isn't that a weird picture? There's another one here. This guy tweeted this out, but he didn't put the Cyberpunk logo on it. So those are definitely pretty cool. And I've made a couple as well. And I think I don't know where they are. That would have looked really cool with the Cyberpunk logo on it. But I digress from all of this. It's really amazing. I want to see some lot more tweets. You can follow me on Twitter at XXXCobra and tweet me some awesomeness. Just some random awesome pictures with the Cyberpunk logo on it. We got Miguel Ramirez, my most anticipated game. Yours and mine too, Miguel. Yours and mine too. We got Joel in the chat. saying this year, I guess. Are you talking about the release of Cyberpunk? I really think it could be this year, but it could also be 2020 as well. To talk about that a little bit, they were given some money by the Polish government, a grant, $7 million, and for city development and multiplayer, a couple other things. And they have to show proof of what they did with that money by this June. Now, that doesn't necessarily say they have to be done with the game, but how cool would it be, though, if they came out with Cyberpunk 2077 in in year 2020? Like a nod to Cyberpunk 2020. That's a possibility. You got to keep that on the back burner as well. But yeah, I think this year. But it wouldn't be surprising to me if it came out next year in 2020. Do I think that it would be beyond that? No. Not at all. I think it's we're winding down. I think we're coming close to it. Let's see. What do we have on the agenda? We got the Steam Awards, where CD Projekt Red did win Best Developer of the Year. It says whether it was by listening to their fans, creating something genuinely unexpected, or just delivering on the promise of a truly great game, this studio absolutely crushed it in 2018. CD Projekt Red. And it is well-deserved. Well-deserved. I'm just really happy that they weren't running up against Hello Games. You know? I mean, how would I vote for that? I mean, I'm just glad, all right? But looking at those, Digital Extremes, Rockstar, who's good at making DLC that forces you to buy shark cards. That's why their DLC is free. Bethesda, moving along. Ubisoft. Yeah, I would say CD Projekt Red is a definite shoo-in for a winner there. So we got Miguel saying, very possible 2020, well worth the wait. I agree. And I am on the mindset that, and I don't know how many of you would agree with this, but I don't want them to rush. I don't want them to announce a release date. Like a lot of people in the comments section, everybody's like, yeah, but when's it getting released? What's the release date? I want to know a release date. I kind of feel like we all do, even I do, right? But I feel like if we got Roshu Gaming in the chat. Guys, go check that dude out. He's got some content. He's a YouTuber. Go check him out. Bethesda. Yeah, Bethesda was in there. I don't know how. I mean, they've been great developers in the past, but recently, if we're talking about the year for 2018, yeah, that's a good question, Dave Langer. Very good question. When you get your background music from, it's pretty cool. Joel's asking the background music, and if it's too loud, please let me know, guys. The background music is TeknoAxe. It's from his synthwave and industrial soundtracks. Do we have Snow Obsidian on the chat here?
Yes.
What's up, Snow? How you doing, buddy? Haven't talked to you in a while.
I know. It's work has been making me busy.
Yeah, work, and plus we missed last Subcast on Friday.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything to talk about, guys, and I wasn't ready for the Cyberpunk podcast. Scuzzwald saying, is there a Cyberpunk ARG? There seemed like there was one starting, but I think it was just, and I think we have a picture of that, I think. But I don't think there is.
I don't think there is either.
No, I think there was some confusion, like there was some confusing letters and stuff on a screen. One of it said Bush did 9/11 inside there, and that somebody photoshopped that. Yeah, it's funny. I don't know if CD Projekt Red put that in there or somebody photoshopped that, but it kind of looked like there was going to be an ARG, but I don't think so. We got Hidden Jew Agenda in the chat as well. What's up, Hidden? How you doing, buddy? Hidden Jew Agenda is going to be playing a concert with his band. Yes, he's going to be touring with Crazy Town. So I might get a chance to meet Hidden Jew. So
Nice.
that's exciting, very exciting.
I will say on the Game Detectives Discord, there is a Cyberpunk 2077 channel in the Discord. The Game Detectives Discord.
Is that so?
Yeah.
So maybe there is an ARG.
Hang on. I'm looking at it. Go ahead, keep talking. I'm just looking through some stuff. Let me see if there's any pinned messages here. CDPR. Huh. Interesting. Does CDPR say anything to you? Mean anything to you?
Yeah, CD Projekt Red. That's the developers making Cyberpunk.
Right. CDPR response on Twitch, streamed image and ARG status on the Cyberpunk 2077 channel on Game Detectives Discord pinned messages section.
And when was the last date that was uploaded or updated?
August of 18.
That's probably
Old.
Yeah, I believe it was.
Yeah, that was over half a year ago.
I believe that's when they were showing that. I'll have to find a link to it, but there was like a bunch of letters and stuff on the screen, and a lot of people didn't know what was going on, and they probably thought an ARG was starting, or maybe one did, maybe it was a tiny one. I'm not sure. We're gonna have to look at that together.
That's interesting, though.
Is the music too loud?
Let me check.
Okay. Check. 1, 2, 3. J-Spot J said, I figured out an easy way to make eggs. Point at the chicken and say, do it. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Say the, oh, sorry. I was just going to say the music is a little bit loud. Just a smidge. All
right. So we're going to go ahead and turn it down then. See if I can get it down to level 2.
Test that.
All right, Game Detective has something listed. Not sure if it's active. I don't think it's active. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. Tonight we're going to be talking about Netrunner, which after reading some of the lore and reading what Netrunners really are in the lore, based on the brief description that we get about the classes, wow, I'm blown away. And there's so much lore to this. Do you remember the game lore that we did for No Man's Sky?
Mm-hmm.
There's enough. Sort of.
I mean, I know the lore in No Man's Sky is pretty deep, yeah.
All right. Well, we had a show where we discussed the Korvax and the Gek and the Viking in depth and everything, and all the lore, the Atlas and stuff. And well, there's enough.
And the anomaly and all that, yeah.
There's enough lore for Cyberpunk without the game even being released yet that we could come out with hundreds of those. Hundreds.
You can't tell when my jaw's dropped.
We got Norse here with the tweet with a Cyberpunk logo with a guy with a cell phone in the back. That's pretty cool. Thank you so much, Norse. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and get to talking about the classes. And tonight we're going to be talking about Netrunner. And I got to get my thoughts together because there's so much lore that I really want to cover it. And I want to try and get it all covered before the game releases, and also keep up with new news articles and old ones that we haven't discussed yet as well. So also, if you're new to this channel, we will be bringing up old stuff, things that we haven't discussed yet. And so if you're not looking for old stuff, then watch out because they're coming. But let's go ahead and talk about Netrunner. And also, guys, if you want to come on the show tonight, as soon as we get done talking about Netrunner, we're going to have a lot of people come on the show. We got Raging Bull sitting in the chat. I'm just going to bring Raging Bull in right now. Raging Bull, what is going on, dude? How you doing?
Hey, What's up there, Cobra? How you doing, dude?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. Man, I'm sitting here watching your subcast, and I'm looking to see what all you know about it, because it's a hard game to get info on, because CD Projekt Red, they so tight-lipped with it. But with the info that we do have, it's looking gorgeous to me. I mean, all the stuff they have going on with it, and that they've shown us and told us about, that they've been able to, the info they've been able to release to it, it's definitely something that's on my my to-do list when it comes out.
What is super interesting, Raging Bull, is that the information that they do release is it's researchable. So they say, okay, Netrunner is one of the techs that you could play, or one of the classes that you could play in the game, right? One of the roles. So since Cyberpunk has been around for very long, for decades, there's actual information on what Netrunners are, more than what they're giving in the interviews. So since they say Netrunner, you can say, oh, okay, let me go back into the decades worth of information and see what Netrunner really is. So
see, I haven't done any research into the old Cyberpunk 2020. Like, when I heard about Cyberpunk 2077, I didn't know anything about Cyberpunk 2020. So I had to go back and just kind of check it out to see what it was about, in order to even know what this was going to be about. So I was like, okay, it's a old game that I didn't know anything about. So I was like, I'll take a look at it, and saw what it was. Like, okay, I didn't bother to dive into the lore about it. So it's interesting to find that out.
Yeah, it is, man. I'm telling you what, I'm having so much fun going back. And like, Netrunner was probably my least interested class until I learned a little bit more, until I dug deeper into the past, and I'm like, wow, this is really cool, man. So
are you familiar with the Cyberpunk 2020
no,
game?
Never played it back then. No, I've always been a Cyberpunk fan, like, and not Cyberpunk the franchise, not a 2020, because I wasn't, I wasn't paying close enough attention, but the Cyberpunk genre I've always been a fan of. The music, the lifestyle, everything. And it's shocking, but I was always a fan of D&D, but when I was younger, I didn't play it. I read a lot of the the novels and stuff like that, Dragonlance Chronicles and a lot of the D&D stuff, but I never went and played it. I never did the magic cards, never did any of that. I was pretty reclusive, so I just didn't get into it, the game itself.
Yeah, I knew of it as well. I just didn't get a chance to get into it. I kind of wanted to, but being the type of person I am, growing up where I grew up, that finding a D&D little layer or whatever to go to where you could have fun and do that, yeah, that was a rarity. That was nowhere anywhere in my area. So it was something that was hard for me to be able to get into. But I like I kind of glanced over some of the novels and knew some of the lore from talking to other people about it, but never had a chance to get into it. Liked the movie though. I thought it was decent. It was a good little action pastime movie.
Yeah. Oh, I've been getting caught up rewatching a lot of movies with the wife here. We got Single Player. What is up, Single Player, in the chat? Yeah, I've been me and the wife been rewatching stuff like Blade Runner, and we just rewatched Ghost in the Shell, the movie. We're going to be rewatching. Did you watch the
anime or did you watch the live action?
Well, we watched. I've seen both. I've seen both, right? But
the anime is so much better, though. I love the anime.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is. But when I was watching the live action, I noticed so much in that of inspiration that CD Projekt Red just pulled right out of the screen. I'm not talking plagiarism or theft or anything like that. No,
but
I'm talking
just some of the ideas is like, yes. I know where they got that from.
Oh yeah,
I recognize that. Yeah.
Oh yes, 110%. Just like watching the movie Oblivion and then looking at No Man's Sky, You could see the Sentinels in Oblivion look like the ones from No Man's Sky. The Tet in Oblivion looks like an Atlas station. It's
even some of the ships in No Man's Sky.
The ships
kind of like the one that he flew around in.
Exactly, 100%, buddy. And so it's just like that, watching the live action Ghost in the Shell. A lot of people don't like it, but I look at it like this: it's sci-fi. I like sci-fi. Do I think that the live action ruined Ghost in the Shell? No.
Oh no, not at all. If anything, it was like a accent to it. Just another placement in the story. Like how people do these comic book movies and stuff like that. Like, you can't make the movie exactly like the comic book. You have to put your own spin on it. Yeah, and a lot of people don't like that, but you gotta just let it. You gotta let that creativity go ahead and take its own.
Right, and so like in the case with Ghost in the Shell, you've got one version that you love and one version that you don't. The one version that you don't didn't make the one that you love disappear. It's still there, right? We can choose to ignore the one that we don't like and still like the one that we do. But, comparing it to the anime, it doesn't stand a chance, right? It doesn't.
Nothing like the original.
No, not at all. Not at all. But in itself, I still find it entertaining to watch when I put my bias, when I put my judgment down and I don't judge it for what it's trying to proceed. So it's still good, and like just watching it and simply just looking at everything from Cyberpunk, you could see so much inspiration just ripped right out of it. But tonight we're going to be talking about the Netrunner, and we're going to be going over a few things. And we got Ivy Mike in the chat. Ivy, what is going on, buddy? So. The Netrunner. Why am I excited about the Netrunner? Well, I'm going to tell you about the Netrunner. All right, Netrunner is really super cool. So Netrunners, according to a article written by PC Games, here's describing the class, and we're going to get into the other classes as well. Tonight, we're just going to be talking about Netrunner and taking calls. So it says here, Netrunners are the super hackers of the city. I got to look sideways, so I'm going to probably stutter just a little bit. Netrunners are the super hackers of Night City, and the tabletop. They called it a tabletop game. See, a lot of people are calling it a tabletop. It's the pen and paper game. A lot of people get upset when people call it a board game because there was no board. So I'm going to say in the pen and paper game, they explore the internet using brain-computer interface implants, tracking down information to sell to other parties, such as fixers. Their skills relate to various branches of hacking, programming, electronics, and cybersecurity. Their special abilities is interface, a skill which we may have seen in action when the main character in the E3 demo plugged themselves into an enemy guard to access a building security network. It would seem that they fulfill the stealth support role when compared to other RPGs, although the world of Cyberpunk renders this class in a very different form. So they leave you on a little bit of a cliffhanger there. But luckily, we have decades of past information that we could refer to for as far as Netrunners. So if we go back into the lore pages here, we've got Netrunners are the types of savvy computer hackers you would find in the movie Hackers, but with a cybernetically augmented interface system implanted into their body. Using their brain-computer interface implants, they roam the internet looking for systems to hack and information to sell to fixers. Although anyone looking for systems to hack and information... Oh, I just read that line over again. Although anyone can enter the net is another video that we're going to be talking about. The net is an amazing topic. So, although anyone can enter the net, most people can't use the menu. The menu is a group of apps that are interface programs that allows a netrunner to locate, remote, run software, control remote, LDL, link, load, create, and delete. So it goes on to say, who are they? And it gives an example here. At 3, your parents bought you an old Apple 4GS with a Radius 241 wall screen, and your life was changed. By 5th grade, you'd already mastered everything the school computer literacy lab could throw at you. You were already using C++ and Metalingua, I think I pronounced that right, to crack into the district's mainframe and change your grades. When you were 13, you shifted enough funds out of unprotected Trans-American bank accounts to finance your first neural interface plugs. Now nothing can...
That's awesome. I like that part.
Now nothing can stop you with your direct mental link to the computer. You can plunge headfirst into the dizzying data winds of the net, the worldwide telecommunication systems that joins humanity together as an electric wraith. You are the ultimate hacker, your brain wired into special modems and computer links. You slip into the hardest mainframe systems with ease. Your defense and offense programs are arrayed at a touch of your mental fingertips. A quick jolt of demon or vampire and the data fortresses fall. IBM, ITT, Sony, Matsushita, Ford. You've tackled them all, buying, trading, and selling their deepest secrets at will. Sometimes you uncover important things, corporate treachery or deadly secrets, but that's not why you netrun. You live for the new program, the next satellite downlink, the next piece of hot data that comes your way. It's only a matter of time, you think. Every year, the counter-intrusion programs get better, the artificial intelligence smarter. Sooner or later, a faster program or programmer's going to catch up. Reach out with electronic fingers through your interface plugs and stop your heart. But time's on your side. Until the ride runs out, you'll be there, bare-brained and head-first in the net. Isn't that cool?
Wow.
That's what?
What I'm gathering from that, basically, netrunners are like, when they first start off, they are like most of the tech savvy. They hack without having a neural link, and basically you have to get a neural link to be able to hack without having to, I guess, hack with your hands. They start off, they're using the computer, using the keyboards and stuff, and they're hacking that way. Get a neural link, and basically it's like you can talk to the machine instead of actually having to, type stuff in. Is that basically what the netrunner is? Just somebody that can hack without having to use the mouse and keyboard? Like, it's like they can just jump to that and they talk to the talk the program out. That's awesome.
Yeah, they don't have to. It's almost like plugging into the Matrix. Like, you're in the real world and you want to plug into the Matrix. It's just like that. It's like going inside the net. And there's so much about the net that I want to talk about, but I want to save it for another episode. And it's literally like an augmentation of the world. Like, to travel through it, it's like traveling down the street. So if you want to go to a computer that's down the street, you literally got to walk down the street to get to that computer.
Wow.
Yes.
See, now, okay, in Cyberpunk 2077, will the net be like a separate thing that we will be able to jump into? Like, will it be like a mini game type thing when we go tech runner?
Here
or like
is the part where we have to be careful. Either I haven't done enough research on how the net plays into Cyberpunk 2077, or I'm missing something, right? Or they're just not going to have that. I don't know. But if anybody hears this and knows more about how the net is going to play in Cyberpunk 2077, the video game, I would like to know and need your help if you would like to comment down below so we can learn more about that, because the net is more interesting to me than Night City. You hear me? Like, we got to be careful when researching this game, because our heads can get spun and our expectations can get super high. So there's a lot of lore out there, but how that they've taken parts of Cyberpunk and used it in the game. We are now in year 2077, so this lore is from the past. So not entirely sure how much of the lore got used. I don't know how many aspects of the lore got used. I know most of the lore got used to build what's, to let you know what's happened in 2077.
With this being CD Projekt Red, oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure they use quite a bit of the lore. As far as like the main campaign and stuff like that, it probably wouldn't be much there, but we know how CD Projekt Red like to do things. I mean, they have little books and stuff you can find, like how they did with Witch and stuff. So I'm pretty sure there's actually quite a bit of lore in this game. It's just as far as how we got to find it and how we're going to see it. Now that's going to be the thing.
Right. So yeah, I'm super interested in knowing how the net's going to play in. I wish I could interview. Like, I've learned a lot about the lore. I wish I was able. Like, I see all these interviews all the time where they're asking like these normal questions, and they don't go back into the lore too much to talk about the lore. Like the net would be like one of my main questions. Like, how are you using the net in Cyberpunk? You have netrunners, so are we going to be able to access the net, the virtual net, and go inside? Are we going to be fighting these AI that's in there? There's also rumored people who have downloaded their consciousness into the net, and they're inside there, and people. They're looked at as rumors or myths. Like people, it's almost comparable to saying, "I seen Bigfoot in the woods." When someone's cruising the net and they see one of these consciously uploaded individuals, nobody believes them, and I think that's super cool, man.
Basically, one of those people that's chosen the immortal life, but the only way they can do it is through digital instead of physical.
Right. Exactly. So let's talk about the net a little bit on this episode. We'll get it majorly into it in another probably pre-recorded and edited video. This is, of course, live if you're watching it later. So what is the net? The net is the name given to the vast telecommunications network of the cyberpunk world. It's analogous. Excuse me, fellas. To the real-world internet, which was still in its infancy at the time Cyberpunk 2020 came out, but much more extensive, including things like appliances and even cybernetic limbs. The net is made up of hard lines, radio links, cell networks, microwave transmitters, and anything else that can transmit information from one computer to another. Access to the net requires a modem of some kind. It is possible to use the net the way we use the internet in real life, with a computer or terminal, keyboard, and a video display, also called vidboards. But the professionals experience the net in 3 dimensions, using a complex cybernetic interface called a cyber modem. People who use cyber modems are called netrunners. There we go. People who use cyber modems are called netrunners. A cyber modem provides an experience that is much more immersive and intuitive than the traditional keyboard computer interface. This allows netrunners to react far faster than would ever be possible with a keyboard. Using the net...
So I'm guessing...
What's that?
I'm guessing that's like going from using a laptop to using VR.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Cyber modem.
Yep.
Yeah.
Using the net in anything more than most rudimentary ways requires a cyber modem, sometimes called cyber decks. You do not necessarily need interface plugs installed in your head to use cyber modem, though. These are also options for there are also options for electrodes or even 2D displays with a keyboard. But actual netrunners will always use plugs because actual cybernetic connections wired to your brain ensure the very fastest reaction times, and in the net, speed matters a lot.
Oh yeah.
And then, like I said, there's so much here about the net. It talks about how it's a virtual world. It talks about the artificial intelligence that are there. It talks about the regions and stuff like that, on how it'll show what region you're in. It'll display that environment. And again, this is past lore. This is not saying that this is going to be in 2077. So also keep that in mind. But netrunners are going to be in the game. They could wash that down a little bit. We can't expect everything out of Cyberpunk 2077. I mean, it is a game. Games have limitations. We're not to that generation where possibilities are limitless.
I don't know, Cobra. Actually, that's something I kind of want to talk to you about.
Really?
Yeah, the way gaming is going with this going. Okay, starting off, we know the physical age of gaming is basically all but dead. It is definitely going out. You know, the gaming is going pretty much straight digital. Okay, these days, the way games are coming out now is always the game, the vanilla version, and then you have a year from now what the game is. And then, depending on some games, is even another year after that, they even have made more changes. Gaming is now a subscription service. It's no longer having the complete package that a lot of people used to get, like how we used to get back when we were younger and stuff. You know, the game came out and it was just that game. You didn't have to worry about DLC and stuff like that. Gaming now, people want more with their games. Oh my God, I miss those days. I'm talking about blowing it. Going into the cartridges and everything. I missed it. I miss it. I really do.
You bought a game back then, and everyone, you collected them, and they all sat there on your shelf, right? All your Sega Genesis games, or your PlayStation games, or whatever have you. Your PlayStation 1 games.
Atari, all of them.
And neither one of those cartridges, neither one of them asked you to buy the rest of the game. It was as done as it was going to be, plain and simple.
And if it was more to that game, guess what? It was that game and then part 2. It wasn't that game and an expansion and stuff like that. No, like, okay, you want more of this game? Guess what? We have part 2 coming out soon. Like something like that. It wasn't no DLC. It was just a complete another game. That's and then if they really wanted to get snazzy with it, they did a prequel. Like that was the most you got. But like I said, today is you have the game, and then a month to 2 to 3, maybe even 4 months later, you got to throw out another DLC. You got to throw out extra little map packs, and people want cosmetics now. Like I said, today's gaming isn't yesterday's gaming. Today's gaming is straight subscription services.
Right.
With this game Anthem that's coming up, which is a game that I'm very much big into. I plan on playing it. It's coming out next week, I believe, full access stuff. But like the way the game's gonna come out, it's gonna disappoint a few people. I can already tell, because they're already talking about the DLC and stuff like this. The game I love the game for a few reasons. It's because the way BioWare are doing it. I'm not talking about EA, because I know the publisher.
I just want to say, I'm sorry. I just want to say, spell check. I agree with you, brother, 100%. 100%. It says, stop supporting companies that force you to buy DLC.
It's too late for that.
Look, I'm behind you, spell check. The thing is, I don't purchase games that do that. You know how much of a Star Wars fan I am? I don't have a single Battlefront game.
You and me both. But see, the thing is, the consumer isn't always right. I don't care what anybody say. I've been on both sides, the consumer side and the retail side. Okay, the consumer is not always right. We actually screwed up the gaming industry to start off with, because we were demanding extras. And when we finally started getting our extras, the gaming industry was like, hey, look, y'all want y'all extras, but you have to start paying us for them now. We can't keep just giving you what you want and like just working for free.
That's right.
We actually started it off, messed it up. And when the gaming industry ran with, they took that inch and they took a whole mile with it. And we basically had to, we were forced to go ahead and just get with it, because there was so many people that accepted it that they kept running with it, that the people that didn't accept it, we had to go with it anyway.
So what does this have to do with when I said that we're not at the generation where possibilities are no longer limited, and that's what you want to talk to me about, and then all of a sudden you start bringing up DLC companies? Who you working for? Hello? Did we just have a plant? Did we just have a seed on our show? Are you there, Snow? Am I suddenly by myself? Can anybody still hear me? They're back in the Atlas room. Hold on. There you are. I see you. Why'd you leave?
I didn't. You know, I'll be on my phone, and after a while, if I don't check it, it'll boot me out the Subcast.
So how is this coinciding to when I said that games, we're not at the generation where we're no longer limited, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about, and then you start bringing up DLC.
Well, see, the thing is, the way that Anthem is doing things, you know, BioWare and okay, well, like I said, first off, I'm supporting BioWare. I'm not supporting EA. I know what EA does. I'm supporting the developer. Another thing that us, the consumer, need to realize, we are blaming developers for what publishers are doing. We need to stop doing that as well. We need to hold publishers more accountable, but not the developer. And I know that in order to support the developer, you kind of have to support the publisher. There are certain ways you can just support the developer and not support the publisher. It's just certain ways you got to be able to do it. But anyways, the way that BioWare and Anthem are doing the thing.
Let me address Dave Langer in the chat real quick. He says games have been $60 for a long time. That's why the companies need to do that, because they're becoming more expensive to make. I'm not going to be at the end of the person to blame for overspending on dev teams of 500 to 1,000 people. I don't want to be the person that has to take that blame. I also don't want to be the person who has to take the blame of the cost of producing some of these games that are digital only and still selling them for $60. And you know, taking the cost away from producing a lot of most of them are still producing discs and hard copies and things like that, but a lot of them don't, and still don't reduce the price. But I understand where you're coming from, Dave Langer, and I kind of agree with you to a point, but you don't have to disguise leeching more money off of somebody to make up for that. Instead, just change the price of your game right there at the very front.
Thank you. Especially when you have teams like Hello Games doing what AAA teams are doing, with only the 12, 16 people versus the hundreds that these AAA people are doing. Come on now, you know, that's just kind of unacceptable.
I understand. All right, so I'm sorry. Go on with what you're saying.
See, what Anthem and BioWare are doing, they already came out and said it's gonna be kind of an open-ended game. When you finish the main course of the game, you're not gonna get that usual hard end credit scene. Because the way they're doing it, they're actually leaving it kind of open because they want to see how the player is going to play the game, because the future content is going to reflect on that. The game Anthem isn't coming out to be a full finished game because it's going to be a service game. That's why they keep saying the words live service. It's going to be coming out with future content because they're going to be making it as the game is being played. In which that is something that not just this game is doing, but other games are doing now as well. And that way opens up a whole new bevy of things that you can do with games. In which I want to know, with Cyberpunk, could they maybe take that same approach? With their storyline, with it being a mainly probably a single player game, with their storyline, could they possibly give us this nice big vast game with all this stuff to do, and as far as like the story and more things to do later, keep it, I guess, episodic sort of way, in a way?
Well, look, as far as DLC, there's very few companies who I trust for DLC, and honest DLC is CD Projekt Red does very honest DLC. Honest,
exactly. I trust them.
The Witcher 3's DLC was absolutely amazing, yeah, it's just so there will be DLC with Cyberpunk, and I can completely get behind that, but I want them to be fully done with their vision of what they've set out to do. Now, when I talk about an endless, limitations, we're not there yet, even with games as a service. And why I say that is because they talk about how they want destructible environments and inside Cyberpunk 2077, but they said, but we have to weigh how much destructible environments are we going to have, because there's a memory problem. Do you want big bustling crowds in the city, or everything destructible? Now,
and you can tell that's a problem because you can just look at Crackdown 3.
Right. So you have to play which is more important, find the right balance. So we're not at the point where we could say everything's destructible and there's massive crowds beyond your wildest imaginations. We're not there.
I'm sorry,
yet.
but you're not going to get both of them. You're going to have to get one or the other. So, yeah, I completely understand what you're saying about that.
We had Head Trauma. Hidden Trauma is what the band Head Trauma. Hidden Trauma. Hidden Jew. Is this you?
This is me.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
What's up, dude?
I didn't know if you want me to use your real name on air or not, but how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, man. Yeah, no, I don't mind. I didn't know what name to choose, so I kind of got tired of Hidden Jew, so I just thought Hidden Trauma might work. I don't know.
Yeah, I figured people were going like calling you Hidden Jew. I felt like I was going to get attacked sooner or later.
Dude, I get attacked all the time. What are you talking about? I get asked why I'm Hidden Jew agenda, so I took out the agenda, and now I'm just Hidden Jew, and I don't know. I'm just Jew now.
Finally, someone else who knows what it's like to be black without having to be black.
What's up, buddy? What's on your mind, man? You want to talk about a little Cyberpunk?
Yeah, I'm actually really super pumped for Cyberpunk. I heard about it a long time ago, a couple years ago, and I actually put it in like the back of my mind because I didn't know when it was coming out. I didn't want to wait forever, so I just kind of put it in the back of my mind. And then recently, when you brought out a video of Cyberpunk, I was like, okay, let me see what Cobra's talking about. And then I saw something about how the publisher or something is giving them like a deadline or something like that. So maybe we're hoping this year, maybe next year.
Yeah, the Polish government gave him $7 million for research and development in 3 or 4 different categories. One of them being like the infrastructure of city building, city like design and stuff like that. Right. And the other one, it was multiplayer, destructible environments were another one. Nice. And I think animation might be the 4th. And they had to show what they did with that by June. They had to show
those.
Okay, see, that's what I was up in the air about. I didn't know if it was like a deadline date on the game coming out or like a deadline date on like having the game done and then doing like extra stuff to it, you know.
I don't think the game has to be done, but I just think that they have to show what they did with it by June. Like, there's a deadline that they have to turn in what they've done with that money.
Oh, okay.
So was the money like from grants or something, like government grants?
Yeah, I think it's like a government grant. Yeah.
Oh, okay, and those were the I guess the guidelines they had to follow in order to keep it.
Right. So a lot of people think since the deadline's in June, a lot of people think that it could be released this year. But
actually, I don't think that's what it is. With those, if I'm not mistaken, they just have to show a certain amount of progress that from the money that they've been using. It doesn't have to necessarily be a complete project. They just have to show that they're not just wasting the money and doing whatever they want with it, that they're actually making progress with the development.
Right. So we'll see. I think it'd be pretty clever if they came out with it in the year 2020.
That's what I see. Because, I mean, you have no pre-orders going on online right now. You have... I don't think this year is going to be it. I think it's going to be Q1 of 2020.
Right. There have been pre-orders that went up. CD Projekt Red actually commented on this on Twitter, saying that that's not themselves doing the pre-order, that some companies are just taking it upon themselves to do it.
Oh, wow. That should be a legal matter.
We got Stephen Clark in the chat saying a quick heads up. If you go back and look at the trailer, pause where the Maelströmer gang are playing some b-ball, and if you look to your left, you can see a female gang member. Okay. Thank you, Stephen. So yeah, I mean, Cyberpunk 2020, the pen and paper game, and then releasing Cyberpunk 2077 inside 2020, I think would be pretty clever. So that's my guess, even though I want it to come out this year.
Right.
I think 2020.
I kind of got another theory.
What's up? It like everybody else says, like the meme everywhere in the comment sections, this game's going to release in 2077.
But no, I actually kind of got a bit of a theory, and it's a little bit of a connection with all of the rumors going on with the PlayStation 5 and what's going on with that. I kind of think that Cyberpunk 2077 has a chance to release this year, but I think it's going to be a crossover release. I think that we're going to get a version of it for the PlayStation 4 this year, but like the full mega real version that you're going to want is going to be next year, and it's going to be like a PlayStation 5.
Just like with GTA 5. Like,
I was going to say the same thing, Cobra. That's exactly what that sounds like, is that GTA 5 came out on PlayStation 3, and then it was all cool, and then PlayStation 4 dropped, and then guess what? I rebought GTA 5, and I know, Cobra, you don't like GTA 5, but that flying DeLorean brought me back to GTA 5, and I literally haven't put it down since.
I had it on the 3 and rebought it for the 4 myself.
So
I'm guilty too.
The rumors, there's rumors that PS5 is going to have full backwards compatibility. Now, I don't know, has that been confirmed?
If I'm not mistaken, is the technology that's confirmed so far actually gives it that full backwards compatibility.
Okay.
So it's like confirmed but not confirmed, and so to speak.
So let's, for 1 minute, let's say that that's not true. All right. So let's say that doesn't have backwards compatibility. So CD Projekt Red has the opportunity to release Cyberpunk 2077 to 90 some million PS4s in America, in the world.
Right.
I think it's just America. Isn't it just America's numbers? 90 million?
Actually, yeah, I think it is just America's.
Okay, so let's just take that number to make things easy. They have the opportunity to sell it to a potentially 91 million PS4s. And we're just talking about PS4 right now. So imagine if they waited till next gen and released it Q1, Q2, even Q3. You're still not going to have anywhere near 90 million PS4 or PS5s. It would be smarter and more, you make a lot more money if you released it this generation.
Yep, I completely agree.
So
unless, like I said, you release a vanilla version like how you did with the PS3, and then do another version for the PS4. For the PS5.
What if it has a Fallout 76 backlash or a No Man's Sky backlash, right? You're not going to get a second chance.
This is CD Projekt Red. I'm not even gonna think that that's going to happen with them.
I know. But if you read back on this lore and you read the lore and you read everything in it, my gosh, it gets you so hyped. And I know.
Oh yeah.
I'm very level-headed. I know that not everything that I'm reading from past Cyberpunk is going to be in 2077. Right? But a lot of people, if they go back and read, you could get really super hyped. And I hope that won't cause a backlash. I really don't. But even still, even if I did plan on releasing it on the next gen as well, like, I would still want it to release this year on this gen. 100%.
Which is, like I said, I really think it will release, if it was to release this year. And like I said, the best way I really think this would be the best way for Sony and the CD Projekt Red to do it. Release this year at the end of the year, like I said, for the PlayStation 4. But re-release, and like I said, your better version, the same way you did. Like I said, basically just go the same route you did with Grand Theft Auto. And because you already have it started on the platform with the PlayStation 4, which, like you said, that's 90 million units right there.
Right.
You already got your start right there. You got mega bucks already coming in. The things you can do with this game already for the PlayStation 5, you're gonna get your money from that from the 4 already. So you kind of darn near have limitless possibilities with the 5. Because when you go to put the content on with the 5, you already have the base content from the 4. So the extra stuff that you put with this game now is going to be basically what you want. That's within reason of the game. Because the power that the PlayStation 5 is coming with, the additions you can add from the 4 to the 5 is going to be astronomical.
Very true. We got Sam D.
So their best bet is go with the 4 and cross over with the 5.
Yeah,
and I really kind of think
if they do release it,
happen.
I agree with you. Yeah, they do release it on 4. It's definitely going to get re-released on 5 again. Yeah. You would almost have to. We got Panda Poopy in the chat. What's up, buddy? How you doing? We got Sam the Onion Man saying, I hope this game lives up to my expectations. Me too, Sam. Me too. And when you're going back and you're researching the lore, calm your expectations. Because the lore is so freaking cool, man. So freaking cool. When you learn about the netrunners. But, we see netrunners in the trailer, in the gameplay, and in the trailer and stuff. And then you see one like the one I have on the screen here. This guy's plugged up like he's going into the Matrix. So it's in the game. But I don't know how much the net actually affects. How much of the net is going to be playable in the game, like it was talked about in the trailer. Or, I mean, in the lore.
Cobra, when it comes to games and having your expectations met, I have a rule with that. If a developer shows me gameplay like months and months ahead in advance of the game, like releasing, I'm good. My expectations, I don't have to worry about because I'm already seeing gameplay. Now, if all you're showing me is cutscenes and stuff like that, then I'm worried because I haven't seen gameplay yet. So I don't even know how it's going to feel when I play the game. I don't know what to expect when I play the game. If all I'm seeing is just cutscenes and picture art and cover arts and stuff, I'm worried about the game. But once you show me actual gameplay, now I have a small inkling of what the game is going to be like, because now I'm seeing, okay, I'm going to be able to do that, what I'm seeing on the screen. So as long as you show me what I'm actually going to be able to do on the game, if you can grab me from that, even if it's just a good 5-10 seconds of it, if you can show me 10 seconds of your gameplay and make me be like, I want to do that, I'm good. My expectations are already met. Because now, only thing I have to do is just get my hands on it. And the next best way to do that is with demos.
Right.
The next way you want to grab me, let me get a good little 10 to 15 minute demo, which is basically the demo you showed at E3. I'm happy with that. Let me play that and see how it feels. Once I get that, here you go. Here go my money. Because I already know I'm going to want that. I seen it first and knew I wanted it. Now I got to play it. I really know I want it. Here you go. Take my money.
That's right.
Like I said, so when it comes to expectations on the game, the best way to judge your expectations on the game is that they give you gameplay. If they give you actual gameplay, that's what you're getting. So that's the best way you can even, to have your expectation bar setting. So that way you don't even have to set it so high. If you've already seen the gameplay, you can keep the bar at a good level, like for when the game comes out. There's no way you should be disappointed.
Very true. Very true. Okay. Yeah. I see your point. But I don't know. Spend a day, go back and type in Cyberpunk lore, and go check out some Cyberpunk lore. Read just about 30 minutes of it, and your jaw's gonna drop. You're gonna be salivating, and you're gonna be like, "Is that in the game? Are they going to put that stuff in the game?" And then all of a sudden you get really super excited. And I've read interviews where they said, yeah, we've taken aspects of 2020 and applied them to the game, but the lore it's all there, so that way fans of Cyberpunk will recognize certain things. But I think in the beginning of Cyberpunk, it's actually going to take you, it's not a tutorial, but it's like learning the lore a little bit, so that way when you go out on the other missions around in the other districts, you'll see things and know why you're seeing them. So the lore, it could hype people up big time. Like, it's hyping me up, but I got a level head, and I see what you're saying. You look at the gameplay and you can keep your expectations based upon what you see. But yeah, I don't know. I do not know. Hidden Jude kind of escaped. I mean, Hidden Trauma escaped.
What's up? Sorry, dude. I had a phone call, and I guess it kicked me off.
Oh, okay. Can't run away from me like that. Oh, Raging Bull just escaped. Raging Bull, you just escaped.
Yep, you already put me right back in. And what made it so bad, I was actually still on the app, but I was in the middle of sending the text at the same time. So I thought I had enough time to send the text and still be in the app. So like it wasn't even closed out. Like,
bro,
I'm going to have to send a letter to Discord about that.
This is my first time using the Discord. I've been trying to figure it out for the longest time. Last time I was on Cobra TV, you had Skype, and it was a lot easier.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I miss Skype.
Until somebody from Night
like,
City hacked me, got my IP address, and started DDoSing me for fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can understand.
I got you.
Is what
I
it is.
understand now.
We got protection
But
now.
I also like Discord. I'm about to say I like Discord because it's a it's a gamer app for gamers.
Right.
So it comes makes things a whole lot easier and a lot better.
No, I've been trying to figure it out. Luckily, I got to. So I appreciate you pulling me on the show, Cobra. Thank you.
Oh, for sure, buddy. It's been a pleasure having you on, man. And
man, thanks.
I know this is it's a little bit out of the ordinary having the subcast nothing, not about No Man's Sky. And but I hope that people get excited as I am about this game and maybe start doing research, learning about the lore, and then coming onto the show and talking about how excited we are about this, because I'm telling you, there are not many games that come across my computer screen that make my jaw drop and make me feel the way I did about No Man's Sky.
Yeah, same, dude. I was about to say,
you know
this
what?
game
I was
has me
just about to
excited
say,
like
yeah.
that.
Yep, this game and like I said, Anthem. That's the reason why I'm so fixed on Anthem as well. Like so, seeing that game, I got that same feeling. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of
I
excited for
completely understand it.
Division 2. If anyone else out there is,
Oh man,
I love
I've looked
porn.
at some of the gameplay. I don't know. It's just I don't know what it is. I can't get.
It looks good, but it's too much of Division 1.
You
Like
know, okay.
I didn't have a problem with Division 1 after they finally fixed it. It's just that
Right.
once I played something, you know what I'm saying, like that. With Division 2 coming out, it's like I've seen that already. I've been there, done that. I kind of want. That's the reason I want something new, something different.
right?
But it still looks good though. Don't get me wrong. It still looks good.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yes, Outer Worlds, Dave Langer. I'm definitely going to be discussing that. Super excited
That's
about that.
another one.
I tell you what, I think I know what it is about Division 2. I used to see first-person view games and like games that are in first-person perspective, and said,
I've heard you talk about this.
Yeah,
I'm so
I would-
dude. I
I'd-
don't mean to cut you off, but I'm the complete opposite of that. I still play third person, even though I played No Man's Sky for 2 years in first. Like I don't know what it is, but third person is just where I'm at. But
Wow.
go ahead.
Yeah, see, it first started in Grand Theft Auto 4. We used to do dogfights in the buzzards and and the other choppers. You had to do it in first person because if you didn't, you'd lose, right?
Right.
So you had to have that perfect aim. So that was my first force into playing first person view. And when I wasn't fighting anybody, I was in third person in my helicopter, right? So, and then when it came to battle, first person it was. And then, like you heard me talk about before, and then No Man's Sky was forced to play in first person because there was no third. And then it slowly started to, like, when I would think about something I did in No Man's Sky, it was the memory of that game was in the view of the memory of what I do in my daily life. I don't get to see me walking around when I remember what I did.
Right.
So when I remember No Man's Sky in the same way that I see myself in real life, in first person, it kind of felt like real memories. And especially like really traumatic events, like when I landed on the planet that I named Don't Land Here.
Right.
That's awesome.
Natalie's in the chat. Oh my God, Natalie, missed you so much. What's going on, Natalie? Big shout out to you, Natalie. Thank you. And so, I played it for so long, and then when third person for No Man's Sky came, I was kind of like really stoked for that, right?
Right.
And
We all were.
yeah. So I put my character in third person. I kind of felt like I was forcing myself to play that way. And then I said, you know what? I'm not doing it like this. I think me and Semtex were playing, and I'm like, no. And I put myself in first person, and it was much more pleasing to me to be in first person. And I played some other games that were third person, and I just didn't like it. My mind has changed. I used to say I was never going to buy a first person game. Now I don't want to play third person. I'm really excited that Cyberpunk is first person.
I like that aspect about it too.
I see why they're choosing to do it, because they want you to have memories. They want you to feel immersed as the person who's really doing it. I get it. I know a lot of people out there want third person, and I get that too. Trust me, I was on that side before. I understand how you feel. Truthfully, I don't see why Cyberpunk couldn't give you that option for people that do. But I don't know, man. I'm super pumped that it's first person. And I was worried about the cars being in third, and they go, nah, don't worry about it. You can go in first person in the cars if you want to. I'm like, oh, good.
Well, here's my thing about first person. If No Man's Sky, and this is where I'm kind of let down, I was hoping that when you went in first person in No Man's Sky after Next, that you would be able to see your arms, your chest, your feet, but you still don't. And if they can give me that, then I would probably still play No Man's Sky in first person. But I need to see the arms. Like, I need to see. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too picky or whatever. But I feel that, like, in normal first person mode games, you see your arms, your hands. You can look down and see your feet.
Oh,
yeah. I think they're kind of saving that for more of the VR aspect, aren't they?
Well, kind of, but I mean, still, first-person games, you can at least see your hands around the gun, like your arm going to the camera. Yeah.
I really hope that you can see her, your character's body when you look down. That's a big must for me. So I don't know if that's in the game or not. Maybe it is. Maybe I just wasn't. To tell you the truth, I really even didn't pay attention for that in the trailer.
Oh no, I was talking about No Man's Sky. Like I want No Man's Sky to do that. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Actually, it'd be nice with both Cyberpunk too, though.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's it's important to be able to see your character's feet and your legs and stuff like that. Yeah.
As they say, the devil's in the details, man. It's the little details that really count for me on a lot of games. I can see the big stuff all the time, but it's the little stuff that really makes me go, wow. I can't believe that they thought so much into the detail that they thought to add that little detail right there. And little stuff like that adds up and it becomes big.
My hope for Cyberpunk, and this might be expecting too much, but my hope for Cyberpunk, for one, it's going to have a great storyline to play through, and it's going to have amazing side missions, side quests, and things like that they said are going to have the same quality as the story. But my hope is that when you're done playing the story and you've 100% completed the side missions and quests and things like that, my hope is that there's enough in the game that you could get on for 30 minutes to an hour and just live in the city.
As we call good old in-game content.
Yes, just get in there and go to somebody and be like, I want to shoot out. I want to go kill somebody I want to get a contract for somebody. And you just go meet with someone, you get cash, and you could go and you could play with the augments at the Ripper Dock, get some new stuff, and just have replayability in the form of just living in Night City and not worrying about the storyline or anything like that. That's what I'm hoping is at the end of 100% completing this game.
Oh my God! What about procedural contracts or something like that? At the end of the game, you want to go and be like a bounty hunter or like a tech hunter or something. Someone that hunts down the tech heads or whatever. And something like that. If I could just go somewhere and just pick up a little bounty and I have to go search for them in the city. After the main campaign, something like that. I would be happy with little I guess extras to have me, like you said, keep coming back to the game after I beat the main story.
Yes, Stephen Clark in the chat said yes, you can. CDPDR confirmed it. Somebody asked a question and said yes, you'll be able to see your feet and your hands.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Dave Langers posed the question. I didn't beat Witcher. So after you beat, have you guys played Witcher 3?
I have.
I did.
All right, after you beat the game, is there like anything to do afterwards?
Basically, like any other RPG, it's new game plus mode. You go through the story over again, but the gear that you get is stronger, and instead of having to build your character up, you're already a strong badass. Okay. You just get just better gear and stuff. Right. And the enemies and stuff are a little more harder to go through, stuff like that. You're getting the same thing that you got through from the first playthrough, but it's just a little bit more exciting this time because it's even harder and more challenging. But it's the fact that you're playing it fully as the character's supposed to be played, right. Because you have all the upgrades and all that stuff, and like that.
You see, with Cyberpunk, you can replay the game. You could choose a different history for your character. You could choose different decisions, and it'll be a different game for you. Like,
I love it.
Yeah, it'll have different outcomes. It'll have different. The NPCs will treat you differently based on what you're wearing, where you live, what kind of augments you have, and so it's going to have different playability. But to me, that's if you play the story over and over and over again. What I hope is that you could play the game without.
Be a bad thing at the same time.
Well, yeah. But my hope is that you could play the game without going through the story again. Just living in the city, just doing things.
That's what I was saying as far as it can be a good and a bad thing. Because the good part about that is when you go through the story again, you can choose different, decisions that you made from the first time you played it. But it's only so many times you can do that and get a different, cutscene or a different ending, or something like that. It's only game I've ever seen to be able to do something like that and make it so that you can play it over and over and over again.
Yeah,
was games like what was that? Detroit Become Human. Games like that. That's the only time you can be able to do that. I played the demo and I saw a friend play it online and stuff. And
pretty good.
The way that you can it's a great game. The detail that they put into the story and the way you can branch off into different situations and different endings and stuff, it's freaking phenomenal. They put a lot of thought into that game. A lot of thought.
Yeah, I've been wanting to check it out.
But yeah, as far as this, it's only so much you can do with that different decisions thing. So,
well, does anyone know, like, when you buy your apartment in Cyberpunk, is there just like one certain apartment you get, or is there like a slew to like choose from?
I believe they said there's a lot more you can choose from. Yeah.
Okay.
So wait, you can buy your apartment. So you have to buy your apartment, and so that you're gonna be in on there. I didn't even know that. That's okay. I have to look into some more info now.
Yeah, kind of like in GTA, like you had like a bunch of apartments to choose from. You chose one, and then that's your safe house. So I was hoping Cyberpunk had the same thing, where it's not like everybody has that one certain apartment in that one certain area, or do I get to go out and shop around and like find a cool area in the map?
That would be sweet if you can go like actually apartment shopping and stuff like that. That would be sweet.
I assume that the richer you get, because there's 3 levels to the map. There's the top level, sky high, big. You go in these buildings and go all the way up to the tippy top, and
that's what's got me most curious right there, Cobra, is the fact that you have mentioned that this map is like vertical. You know what I mean? Like there's like more than like one floor to go explore, and that's got me like super pumped right there, just that alone.
Oh, I know, dude.
Yeah.
And then there's the surface level as well, and then there's the underground level as well. So you've got different demographics. In the districts, you got different. You got the poor people living under the surface of the the floor level, and there's a lot of drugs in the game. Drugs in the game are allowed; they're legal.
What?
So it's common for everybody to be doing drugs. There are people that are addicted to being inside the net and they don't want to come out. Dude, there's prostitutes.
What?
Yes. You could even have one night.
Dude, hit on there.
You could have one night stands in your apartment with people that you can go out and meet.
Sold.
Oh yeah, the going to pick up hookers on The Witcher 3 after a good mission was like something I made sure I did. Like whenever I had a successful hunt or whatever on The Witcher 3, I made sure I would go to the brothel or whatever. Go be like, there you go, girl, man, you deserve that, man. Go ahead, treat yourself.
Man, my wife's gonna kill me when I'm playing this game.
Make sure the kids are in bed.
Be like, what you talking about? Having a one night stand right now. No.
Yeah,
no,
dude,
she ain't gonna care.
This game's going to be amazing, man. Like, I haven't felt this excited about a game since No Man's Sky. And a lot of people that are just only in Cyberpunk, they're probably looking at me like, what? You're excited about No Man's Sky? What's wrong with you, dude?
Like, I get that all the time. They didn't
know what we knew about that game. So they didn't know that it wasn't the release that we were waiting on. It was what the game was going to be basically years from now.
Right.
Look what
Dude, I used to get stoned to death just saying the word No Man's Sky at work. They'd be like, "Oh, what is that? Who plays that game?" And I'm like, "Dude, there's a lot of people that play it." And they're like, "Oh, what, like 5?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, bro."
Yeah. Stephen Clark brings up something also that I didn't mention. He's saying that you can have a short-term relationship or a long-term relationship as well in the game.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Really?
And it doesn't matter what gender it is either. So, I mean, if you choose a female avatar...
My character's going to be a pimp. He's going to have females left and right.
If you choose a female avatar, you can have yourself a female... You can get a girlfriend. I mean, come on. How cool is that?
We are living in 2019, man. So
I am a lesbian trapped in a man's body.
Definitely. Yep.
Oh boy,
that's awesome.
Yeah, this game's gonna be incredible, and I really hope they take their time. I really hope they take their time on this. I do not want them to rush this out.
See, that's what I'm saying. Yes,
please take your time.
Take the time. Take all the time they need. I would rather for them to release like the coolest game in the world instead of trying to take shortcuts so they can meet a deadline that they carelessly announced a release date for.
And I'm going to bring this up. You know who took their time? You know what? Rockstar took, 7 to 8 years making Red Dead Redemption 2?
Yes.
Right. It shows when a developer takes 8 to 7 years to make a game, dude, as opposed to just pushing a game out every 1 to 2 years. Like Assassin's Creed. Same game, just different theme, right?
Yeah.
Right. But Rockstar took 7 years to make Red Dead 2, and look how good Red Dead 2 story mode was. That game was detailed, it was beautiful, it's a lot of fun. I still play Red Dead. The
small, minuscule details. Yes. Like I said, the devil's in the details. The small details that game added, from the testicles of the horse to the doggone seeing through the character's ears when the light shines through it.
Right.
Like small details like that. It makes you really go wow when you notice it.
Yeah.
Take a look at the screen right here. It shows the cockpit view of one of the vehicles. This is why I prefer the cockpit view over the third-person view of the vehicle. I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff to see in the cockpit. You can look around it.
For me, it was when they were in the fighting and stuff. When they were fighting, shooting at each other. That was what grabbed me. In first-person view, doing that, you're shooting out the car. Like it's like you're in a live-action movie and you're in the car chase and you're shooting each other and stuff. But you're the one in the car doing it instead of watching the movie be made and they cut to that camera cut and you can see it in the car. Like you're gonna be able to do that now, on the game. Like
what about the bullets that will like go around corners and like hit your target? Have you seen that?
Oh my gosh, the you talking about like the mods and stuff you can put on the gun like for your character?
I just remember seeing like dudes straight ahead and like the bullets were hitting the corner, like still hitting your target.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about how you're going to be able to combo that stuff with each other. Like, are they going to have things like incendiary rounds or like acid rounds or stuff like that? And like, can I combo a ricochet off the wall and shoot a gangbanger in the ass? Make sure it's with an acid round, So, like, can I combo stuff like that? Or are they going to have things like that? Because I know with The Witcher, they had things like you can enchant your swords and stuff with like fire enchantments or cold enchantments and stuff like that. So
you could actually
this being game it is.
Yeah, you can upgrade your gun to where the bullets will bounce off of walls without destroying the wall, getting lodged in them, and bounce to your target. So you could shoot people around the side of the walls. So yeah, there's different things that you could do to your weapons that definitely seem pretty magical.
Here's what I also appreciate of what they're doing. In any other title game, you would have to like go to this vendor, and then from that vendor, you would be pulled up a menu of what you want to mod. But instead, this game, you go to somebody, you sit in a chair, and you works on you.
Yeah,
dude, that blows my mind.
That was
you go to your
great.
Ripper dock.
This tech.
Yep.
So great.
You go to your Ripper dock, you choose your augment, and then you watch him get it ready, and you watch him install it, and then you test it out while you're in the chair. That's freaking cool, man.
And then you get up
That was
off
cool.
the chair, and now you have that installed on you to keep going further. There was no load screen. There was no pop-up menu to like choose from and scroll from. Any other game would have done that route, but this developer decided, hey, let's put you in the chair. Let's never break the immersion, because I love when developers do not break the immersion.
I know.
I wish
Oh,
I wish No Man's Sky's
Somebody
warp would be a little different. Yeah, man, like, it's really immersion is really important.
Yes.
The more the you're able to control in a game, the more you feel like that's you. Like it
Right.
doesn't feel like a character in the game anymore. It feel like that is you.
Right,
You're
like if
making
I'm
the
going to
decisions,
invest,
you're making the moves, all that. That's you right there.
if I'm going to invest that many hours into a game, you know what I'm saying? Like I want the best possible. So
Absolutely, I definitely agree with you on that.
100%. We will be in future subcast or even edited videos. We're going to be talking more about the other classes, Techie and Solo. So I can't wait to go ahead and talk about those and read the lore about those as well. And also, guys, there is a Reddit page for the game with a lot of amazing people. And I highly suggest to go check them out. I'm going to put that in the link in the... Oh, it won't let me put Reddit links in the chat. Let me try. No, it worked. I think. Yeah, it worked. So go join the Reddit page. Let them know that Cobra sent you. And guys, these are amazing people. A lot of people. 123,000 people over there on the Reddit page for Cyberpunk.
Nice.
So go check them out. Let's get into the conversation. And they're showing things like, they post stuff like fan art and stuff like that. Here's a painting of V that somebody did. This was by A Winkler. Winkler, I think that is what that says. And then here's another one. This one was by Gene Cortez, of V. And then here's another one by Magnetic Caps, another one of V. These are very highly energetic, excited people waiting for this amazing game. And I highly suggest going over and just getting into the conversation and just joining the community. I mean, they remind me of us when we were waiting for No Man's Sky. 100%.
Nice.
And
Oh, the good old days, Kobe.
the good old days. That's right. Oh, yeah. And here we are again, waiting for another one that's ambitious. And I can't wait to see what CD Projekt Red does with this and future as well. There is the rumored moon area that
yes. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So if that's going to be in the final finished game or if it's going to be part of DLC, I don't know. But it is a part of the map.
Do we know what they're talking about as far as DLC? What they're going to do? Like, is it going to be season pass or is it going to be?
It'd probably be the same as The Witcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, then yeah, it's going to be a season pass then.
And I think it'll be worth the money because with The Witcher, you got all this cool stuff like like you mentioned, the books and artwork and stuff like that.
I'm gonna tell you, when I got The Witcher, I went ahead and spent the extra $1.50, as I say. I went ahead and sprung for like the ultimate version, and it was like I think altogether $110, I believe. Yeah, I really spent the extra pretty penny, but for all the things I got from that game. Yeah. All the DLC, all the extra content as far as like the weapons and gear and whatever else, like they gave me a lot of stuff. I actually really felt like it was money well spent.
Yes.
And which, like I say, I rarely really spend on extras like that because when it comes to me and my games, Cobra, I take them as an investment. You know, I don't just take games to this game. I take them as an investment. Like when I get a game, it has to be something I know for sure I'm going to get hours and hours upon hours of gameplay. I have to know that it's going to have a lot of in-game content. It's going to be something that I'm going to make sure I want to go back and revisit.
I'm with you 100%. I don't buy games that if I look at a game and I'm like, that's not something that looks like I could sink hundreds of hours into. I don't buy it, even though it looks like it's fun to play. I got to have something that feels like you said it, like an investment of time. Mm-hmm. I don't play multiple games at once. I'm a one game person, like one game at a time. I like to really, like you said, invest my time into that one game and really get to know it and play it, and then eventually I move on to another one that I can really invest a lot of time in. So yeah, I'm with you, Raging Bull.
See, it's actually funny because, I guess the older I get now, the more I'm finding myself that I stick with one game, because I'm actually one of those people. I used to just play like 2, 3, 4 different games at a time. I spend about an hour and a half, 2 hours on this game, and then I start getting a little bored, and then I go to another game. But lately, I've actually been finding myself going that same route, that I just want to find a game. I just want to stick with it. And lately the type games I've been wanting to stick with is multiplayer co-op games.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting so sick and tired of PvP games. I like a good PvE game where I can link up with the homies. We go in, kick ass, take names, and have a ball.
Right.
I don't always want to have to be competitive with somebody else. I'm actually good with going on a good raid run to get some good gear and stuff like that. And like really having a time with the fellas and stuff, just like really going in and wrecking shop. We're having a good time because, even when we're in all in sync, we don't even really have to call out stuff. We can just be in the middle of gaming and we having a good conversation about something else.
That's right.
But we're still enjoying ourselves on the game. I like stuff like that. I like being able to still relax, but still have a tense battle at the same time. Because I can't tell you how many times that I done been on like Destiny or whatever, and we're in the middle of a raid, and dude, my freaking palms are sweaty. I got sweat beads on my head because I'm so into the game, and I'm trying to get this good perfect run. I don't want to die or something like that. I love that. And don't get me wrong, I can get that same feeling from a good PvP game. I'm just as good in PvP as I am in PvE, but I get more of enjoyment in PvE. Right. With PvP, it's only so much I can really take of the same stuff, and I actually had a good debate with a friend of mine about this, about games that are good PvE games, but they add PvP, and how PvP kind of ruins the game, really, because they have a good start with the PvE, and then it's like it kind of slows down, so they need to add something to give it legs, and instead of adding more content with the PvE, they think that adding PvP, because people want to be competitive with each other, that it's going to make the game even better. But then they start losing to the game because now you have to balance from the PvE to the PvP.
That's right.
When instead of making that PvP aspect, you could have just thrown in something simple like leaderboards. People don't want to always compete against each other, face to face. Sometimes we want to just be like, okay, how about you throw on your best suit and I throw on my best suit, and we go hit this raid and see who can get the most kills in it. Sometimes, a lot of times, people just want to be competitive that way.
Right. Paulo in the chat is asking if I'm going to get Anthem. I'm only going to buy Anthem if I can buy it from a neighbor. I don't want to give the company any of my money. I'd rather give my money to somebody else, and so that it doesn't get back to the company.
You're anti-EA. That's what it is.
Yeah, but I do want to.
Remember what I was saying, though. Cover. You can't blame the developers for what the publishers do.
I'm not. No. But okay, EA are the ones that are planning out. I don't blame the dudes that are sitting at the computer and crafting the art and things like that. I don't blame them. And I'm sure there's enough kids out there that are going to be buying EA titles, and they're going to, get their salaries. But I'm not just one of those kids. I'm going to buy it from a neighbor or a flea market.
I'm getting it, and I'm getting it for the developers. And like I said, and the way I'm going to hurt EA is I'm just not going to buy any of the monetization stuff. I'm going to earn it, because another good thing about the Anthem game is, like, all their monetization stuff, you don't even have to use real money. You can actually grind it out and buy it with the in-game currency. Right. And the way to hurt EA and still support BioWare, don't use your real money. Just go into the game, play it every day like the developers want you to do, because that's all the developers want. They don't care about the monetization stuff. They just want you to play their game. their vision of what they call a very fun video game. Because at the end of the day, developers are nothing but the consumers. Because they just someone that had the talent or the ability to make their perfect game, and they just have another ability to be able to share it with you. That's all the developers are. They just want to share their perfect game with you. Now, sometimes they have to make a deal with the devil and go through a publisher to be able to share their game with you. And when they go through that, the publisher got to get their money, and they have to throw that monetization stuff.
I get that, and then that's when the responsibility lies on us. And Paulo, no, I don't think you're a kid. I'm not a kid either, and I call myself a kid. No. Okay. The responsibility lies on us. If the developers are going to take shady deals in order to stay in business, then that's on them. What part of our responsibility is, and as much as I love CD Projekt Red and as much as I love Cyberpunk 2077, I won't be pre-ordering and I won't be buying it day one, because I believe the only way that we're going to affect the gaming industry is if we all wait, watch, buy. Wait for the game to come out, watch it from somebody who did buy it day one on YouTube.
Or got a pre-copy from the company itself.
And if it still looks like something you'd be interested in playing in by watching somebody normal play it, not IGN, not the No, not any of those crooks, then go ahead and buy it. Wait, watch, buy. If we all did that, then the crappy games that came out in the crappy fashion with glitches and it just didn't work, or the failed promises and things like that, then nobody would buy it except for a few people, because we all waited, we all watched, and we all didn't buy. So therefore, developers and these publishing companies would be held to a higher standard, and they would be releasing better products. So that's why the responsibility lies on us first, because they're not going to do it. They're not going to change it. We have to change it.
It also goes with these YouTube creators too, and because they have so much influence on the people as well. Right. We got to hold them a little bit more accountable for the way that they push these things on us as well. Because I can't tell you how many times I've seen a content creator basically bash a good game just because of the publisher.
Yep.
Or just because of the demo that they release or whatever. It's not even the full freaking game.
Right. And
the game literally takes a hit from that because it's coming from someone like Clean Prince Gaming or Angry Joe. Somebody that has literal hundreds of thousands of subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like those are the ones that a lot of people are going to see first and foremost, because they're always the one that's coming up on your screen first when you even go to search for something.
Right. And I'm not saying
we
for
also
one,
gotta hold them accountable too.
I'm not saying for 1 minute not to trust CD Projekt Red. I do. I trust them 100%. Like they've been tried and proven. They've showed what they can do and what they have done. So I'm not saying
track record speak.
Yeah, and also their slogan, when people keep asking about the release date, they even have a GIF that says when it's ready. Is when the release date is going to be, when it's ready. And that's how you can trust them. They're not trying to release a release date to make everybody happy. They're probably pissing off a lot of people by saying when it's ready. I asked my wife when dinner was going to be ready the other day. She doesn't even know the drama with the release date. It's not drama, but she doesn't know about the meme when it's ready with CD Projekt Red, and she said when it's ready. Right, so I tweeted at CD Projekt Red. I'm like, guess what my wife said to me when I asked her when dinner was going to be ready? She said when it's ready, and they liked the tweet, and then they responded by saying she's a keeper.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
CD Projekt Red is very trustworthy. If you want to pre-order, I don't see damage with CD Projekt Red, right? But I've got to be truthful to myself and my what I say I'm going to do. So I'm just going to wait, watch, and buy it. I'm definitely buying it. I know it's going to be great, but I got to do what I say. So by all means, I'm not saying don't pre-order it. Please support the company if you feel like you need to or want to.
Because I'm definitely pre-ordering it. I'm not even gonna lie. As soon as I get the funds for it and it goes on pre-order, yeah, it's just certain games that you just like. For me, I can tell. I've been playing games long enough to know the whole game industry. You know, like the reason I'm not really worried about the monetization with Anthem is because EA just released Apex Legends. You know, if you know anything about the gaming industry and know anything about publishers and developers and know anything about stocks and stuff like that, you can actually use that info and put it with the way the game is being developed and what you're going to get and what things you really have to be worried about. See, EA is going to get a ton of money off of Apex Legends. So they don't even have to look at Anthem for the monetization and stuff and to even get money from this, so they don't have to push them to do this, that, and the third with their game. They already put a roadmap of how they want to do things, you know, so they let you know what's going to go on. And with CD Projekt Red, like I said, I know what I got from The Witcher 3, what I'm going to get with Cyberpunk 2077.
Right.
I know I'm going to get a good quality game. I know I'm going to get a game that's going to have a lot of replay value. I know I'm going to get a game that's going to be very detailed. And I know exactly that when it comes out, it's going to be because they were ready to put it out.
That's right. 100%. That's right. Hear that, Paulo? I'm just kidding. I think Paulo's just joking. He goes, just wondering when the release date will be.
Yep, when it's ready.
Thank you so much, Damien Powell. Thank you, buddy. We're probably going to go ahead and close the stream now. If you guys would like to help us out, we do have some Cyberpunk styled Cobra TV shirts that we got. You can see them there on the screen. It just says Cobra TV on it in the Cyberpunk colors and close to the font. I tried my best. But
yeah, I thought you hit it, nailed it, dude. I thought it was freaking awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, a lot of cutting and pasting, a lot of weird transparent backgrounding and trying to get the colors right. But it's pretty close. But those are our Cyberpunk 2077 Cobra TV t-shirts. If you'd like to, some people donate and, they just donate and nothing gets to them in return. With Teespring, if you bought a shirt, it's just like donating, but you actually get a shirt in the mail. And they're good quality shirts. Awesome. Yeah, they're good quality shirts. I still got my original Cobra TV shirt, and it's still hanging in there pretty strong. So, and it's from Teespring. And we do get
tweeted Project CD Red too, so they can see that.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't want to advertise to them at all.
I mean, no, not advertise. Just be like, hey, look, just wondering, did I get close to you guys? It's fun, just to show my support and stuff.
But like,
I think they look at me like that's actually kind of cool.
The Teespring shirts are $21, I think, or something like that, and we do get like $10 or $11 per shirt. So it's not like the Redbubble used to only give me like $2 or $3 a shirt. So donating by buying a shirt actually does help the show quite a bit. So that link is also in the description down below. So if you guys would like to do that, it really would help us out and getting equipment and moving this studio in the right direction. But yeah, that's that. That's the show. If you guys don't have anything else you'd like to talk about, I mean, I said that completely wrong. Whatever. I got pee.
Oh god.
I
do have one quick thing, Cobra. Just a quick update on your accident stuff. How you doing, bro?
I'm healing up. I'm probably going back to work pretty soon. We're having a little bit of troubles with the disability. Yeah, I haven't gotten a paycheck in 3 weeks, so we're living off of. Yeah, it's horrible. Like, it's a long story.
I already know. I have a friend that's fighting cancer right now, and he had a 16-hour surgery that he went through, and now he's actually back at work. But the bad part is he has to go through chemo and radiation again, just because they found like microparticles or some crap like that, and he has to go through that while he's going back to work. So trust me, I already know it's BS. I already know.
Well, it was
Right.
this was a simple mistake. Like the insurance company that's handling the disability, they changed companies, and now they're called something else. And I guess that took away some certain things, and all of a sudden they didn't have
And
access
you
to
gotta
my.
suffer for it.
They
See,
didn't have
that's
access to my
crappy.
medical records anymore, and they didn't tell me that. And I'm like, "What's going?" She won't answer the phone because they're switching staff too, and stuff like that. And nobody's answering my calls, and I haven't been paid in 3 weeks. And I'm like, I got it switched around, hopefully, but I still haven't been approved to get back paid yet. So that's a little scary. But the good part is that I'm going to be going back to the doctor here pretty soon, and I'm going to get approved to go back to work. So I'll be back to work, and
That's what's up, man.
yeah,
That's good.
hopefully things will start getting back to normal. But
Hey, man, heck yeah.
Well, Cobra, I heard you earlier say that you might come out to that show that I'm playing in your area at the Alrosa Villa.
yeah, most definitely.
So,
if something
yeah.
happens and I can't go to the show,
Not a problem at all, man.
look, I
Yeah,
definitely want to
no worries.
get beers with you, right?
Yeah,
like I like if something happens I can't go to the show, I definitely want to meet you somewhere, and just grab a couple beers and stuff like that.
All right, that'd be cool, man.
All right, I think that's it. Hidden, stay in contact with me about that.
I will, dude. I will.
Okay. All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and shut it down for the evening. And thank you so much for coming out and nerding out to Cyberpunk with me. It's been a blast. I love you guys.
Heck yeah, Cobra. Love
Thank
it.
you, dude.
No problem. And I'll see you guys next Monday for another Cyberpunk subcast and Friday for a No Man's Sky subcast. If there's anything to talk about.
Man,
It's
looking like we're waiting a year, like we did last year, dude.
Exactly, that's what I was just getting ready to say. Like, remember
almost
last year
convinced.
we should have gotten an update, but we kept saying, when is it coming? Maybe next month.
Yeah.
Maybe next month. And then all of a sudden we got to the point where we're really close to the anniversary. And
Yeah.
it might go the same way
also-
again, who knows? But they're quiet. They've been super quiet. So that means
Yeah.
that they're working on something that's really taking a long time to do. So it could be big, y'all. Could be big.
And also, I really think we should start expecting it to probably getting close to the last of the updates too. Because I really think they're probably getting on their last leg with No Man's Sky and probably
I
want to start
disagree.
getting ready to do. I actually think they might want to start getting ready to start doing something different now.
They already have. You know
Right.
they have. You know they have.
Right.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not talking about
Last
that.
Campfire?
I'm not talking. No, not. And I'm
No.
actually thinking something bigger than Last Campfire.
okay.
That's what
I
I'm saying.
guarantee you they're working on
I'm
something
thinking
bigger.
something more of the No Man's Sky type level, but not No Man's Sky.
They're already
itself,
working on their next big thing. And I'm not talking about Last
And that's what
Campfire.
I'm thinking too.
They've already got a portion of people already starting on something. And I
That's
think
what I was
one more update is what they're counting on to really set the public straight on what kind of developers they are. I think they're already there. I think people trust Hello Games.
Oh, for sure.
I
for sure.
think that
Oh, yeah.
the public
Oh, yeah,
appearance has
mostly.
completely been turned around. And I really think that after the update, after August, we're going to see an announcement, I think, of either this year or early next year of the new title that they're working on.
I think it'll be early next year. I'll say
Man.
next year.
I
Like,
can't wait.
if even next year, to be honest with you, like for them, after the way things went with No Man's Sky, I actually kind of see them going into a dark hole for a while. When it comes to their next project, and
They're
not
always
really
going
coming
in
out
dark holes.
until like they know for sure. For sure. I'm talking about nothing like a flood can set them back or anything along that lines.
Hello Games lives
when
in
they
a
know
black
for
hole
sure,
that
for sure that they
every
coming
6
in.
months they come out and say something.
Very true.
But no, I'm talking about straight excommunicado. No communications. It's like not a peep, like anything for at least a good year to maybe even a year and a half, and then it's just gonna be like a spark. It's gonna be a little small spark. It's probably gonna be Sean Murray coming on saying hitting the mic on going on Twitter and saying boom boom boom, is this thing on? And that's gonna be it. And that's gonna start it off right there.
Yeah.
Like I really think it's gonna be some stuff like that. But yeah, as far as No Man's Sky though itself, I really think it's about time for us to start getting ready to say, okay, yeah, it's. I'm not saying that it's done, but as far as like updates and stuff, yeah, I think it's been about met its last leg. I think we finally have the game that we were supposed to have got at launch. In my eyes, you know, as far as all the things that they said that they were going to promise, that was supposedly promised to us, and what was supposed to be in the game and that wasn't in the game. No Man's Sky now is the game that it was supposed to be in, and it's the game that I knew it was going to be from the get-go.
Yep.
Right,
you know,
right.
Especially with the team that did it. To me, it is by far one of the greatest games ever freaking made. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh, I agree.
It's not
100%
just about
agree.
gameplay. It's about the trials and tribulations that they went through, and
I bet this whole chat
the fact
agrees.
that they stuck with it. You know, the fact that they stuck with it. And now I've seen the reviews, the re-reviews from the day one to what they're saying now. And it makes me proud to see what Hello Games was able to do. I love
to tell you the truth, I don't think Sean's done.
No.
He's
just begun.
yeah.
Oh, no. Oh yeah.
I think that even when they start developing a new game,
they're
they're still going to update No Man's Sky.
Mm-hmm.
I
it'll
don't
be
think
small stuff, little small here and there things, but I don't think anything major for real.
See, this is why Raging Bull
Unless they
doesn't
hit us
get.
with, like, some-
This is why Raging Bull doesn't get
2.0 stuff.
de-hyped, or disappointed when a game comes out, because he's always thinking small. He's always. I think they're going to be big. But Raging Bull's here was like, yeah, they're just going to be small updates. And each one's going to be
like I said,
massive, and he's going to be like, wow, this is awesome.
I would be you already know I'm a man of my word. I would be the first to say, oh my God, I was wrong, and this is why. I would happily, put that video out or whatever. But like I said, Cobra, I am one that is very in tune with the gaming industry and, with like developers and stuff. And I try to follow them as closely as possible and the way things are going. And like I said, it's not a bad thing. It's just, dude, how old is No Man's Sky now? 3-4 years now?
3.
3.
It's almost 3.
Is it going to be 3?
It's going to be 3 this August.
Yeah.
Like for a game like that, I'm kind of surprised it made it this long,
Yeah.
Which, like I said, it's a great thing for them. And like I said, for an indie development team to be able to accomplish the feats and goals that they accomplished that a lot of AAA titles have failed at from time to time. Most of the time they succeed at it, but it's been times AAA titles have failed at that.
Yeah.
Right.
And they don't always get it, but for a AAA team to do it, it's like you automatically expect them to fail, but in the long run, they didn't. They had a rocky start. Don't get me wrong. They almost failed. If they'd have left it alone and just turned tail and ran, yeah, that'd have been a failure.
Right.
But they stuck with it. And we
That's
stuck
right.
with them. And they gave us what we wanted in the long run.
That's right.
And
Yep.
that's a good example of what a community can do for a game developer or a publisher too. If it depending if they self-publish or if it's an indie publisher.
You guys are lucky I'm not on camera because I'm dancing and crossing my legs so bad. I gotta go because
I'm sorry. You did say you had.
I got pee so bad. Yeah, no idea.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Cover dude. Yeah, hit me up, do it, and I actually hope you do get Anthem because I would like to rock out with you on the PS4.
I'll buy it from the flea market. I promise.
Oh yeah,
All right,
for sure,
Cobra.
dude. Yeah,
All right.
see you later, Cover.
All right,
Later,
bye
dude.
everybody. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much for coming out to the show. I know some of you've already left because I said I was ending it like 20 minutes ago. I'm sorry. But thank you so much for coming out to the show. You guys are great. Thank you for getting in the comments section and chatting and also bringing to light a few things. You guys are amazing. I will see you on Monday and Friday. And also, a portion of this podcast will be uploaded all by itself. And I guess I'll see you all later. I love you guys. And until next time.